All right, I've got 6 minutes to break you out of the toughest prison I've ever seen. It's the prison of your thinking. Who thinks I can try it? Anybody? Come on, I need some energy here. You heard that talk. All right, let's try it. In 1980, there were fewer than 2 million of our fellow Americans under any form of criminal justice supervision. Now, that included prison, but it also included jail, parole, and probation. That number has tripled in the last 30 years to over 7 million of our fellow Americans. More people are incarcerated today than were in any form of criminal justice supervision in 1980. Here in the land of the free and the home of the brave, we have the biggest prison population, and we incarcerate more of our fellow citizens than any country in the world. Now let's put 2.3 million into perspective. We can incarcerate the entire state of New Mexico. That will be fewer people than we have incarcerated today. Twice the rate of incarceration of Iran. Now, from my perspective, this is a deeply troubling moral issue, particularly when I consider the very thin line that separates me from my brothers and sisters in prison. A line drawn largely by the parents that I chose and not my actions. But I don't want to debate morality with you today. Now, as a parent of 2 very beautiful children, I also think about the children of these prisoners. Because history has shown if a child has a parent in prison, they have a 70% chance of one day entering the criminal justice system themselves because of the parents they chose. But I don't want to debate social issues with you either. Let's make this really simple and something we all can agree on, however we voted in the last election. This is a deeply troubling financial issue. Despite the challenges facing our country, we will pour $74 billion, with a B, into corrections this year. Look at how it's grown over the last 30 years, robbed largely from the public education sector. We spend more on a typical prison sentence now than we do on a typical college education. It would be cheaper to send these folks to a 4-year ride to a public university than to send them to prison, but that's what we do for 2.3 million of our fellow Americans. Here's the problem. Despite that $74 billion investment, I wouldn't have a problem with it if it worked. But it doesn't. Look at this. 700,000 people will be released this year from prison. By 2016, half of them will be right back, having committed a new felony, maybe against you, maybe against me, against our community. This is why I'm here today. This is the idea worth spreading. It doesn't have to be that way. I'd like you to join me in the Prison Entrepreneurship Program in our gated community. Over the last 8 years, we have pioneered a program that directly attacks this problem, that is scalable and replicable. 8 states and 3 countries have visited us to learn about our work and learn how they can also deploy this. But what we've told them is that our work is important, but what's really important are the things that we believe, the why. That's what I want to share with you today. First, invest only in those who are willing to invest in themselves. The first and hardest lesson of working with prisoners is you cannot save every one of them. But of that 2.3 million Americans, there are hundreds of thousands who are willing to share our second belief, and that's that they need to work harder than they have ever worked before towards achieving a goal they once thought impossible. What does that work look like? Well, at the Prison Entrepreneurship Program, we have a college-level program, lasts 6 months inside the prison, using a college-level textbook, Harvard MBA cases, AP writing style guide, and yes, these guys literally read and discuss Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment while sitting in prison. While doing more work than they've ever done before, we give them a goal they first think is impossible. Build a complete business plan for a legal business that you will pursue after prison. Work with world-class executives and entrepreneurs who come to prison to visit us. Pitch it in a Shark Tank format 120 times over a 6-month period, culminating in a business plan competition in front of 200 to 300 other people the day of graduation, which for many of our men is their very first time in a cap and gown. The next thing we do, which is really critical, supporting them from the inside outside. If all we do is train them on the inside, pat them on the back, and say, good luck to you, there's a good chance we're going to train a drug dealer how to leave prison with a better marketing strategy. And that's not what we want to do. We want to help them realize this business plan is emblematic of a larger plan for your life and a better plan for our country than for you to come back to this place. But here's the hardest thing that we do. Hold them accountable. This is not about charity. This is about opportunity. And for those who have gone through our program, what I can tell you is standing on these 5 pillars, we've been able to deliver results unparalleled in the prison rehabilitation industry. 100% of our guys, literally every single one who's come out of prison since May 2010, has found a job within 90 days of release from prison. You are... Wait, there's more. You are more likely to have a job coming out of our prison than out of the average Ivy League university. The guys on the screen, all felons who started a business. Over 100 of our guys have started businesses. One of these is now generating over $1 million a year in sales, right here in our backyard. One of those was led by a man once on the streets addicted to drugs. But here's the reason why this is worth spreading. Our success rate is that 5% of our guys go back to prison compared to the 50% national average. Every man who graduates saves you and saves me $50,000 to $100,000 in reduced costs of incarceration. This is the idea worth spreading. If we look at prison not as a place of punishment, but as a platform of opportunity, we can't change a thing, but we can transform the broken lives that live there into the change that transforms this system. I'll see you in prison. Thank you for your time.